Yeah, man, I want to talk about the NBA Finals, man. I don't really get into that stuff anymore. Like, I like playing basketball, but a lot of people like to. I don't really have anything significant to say. I'm just out here hanging out, man. Sunday, I'm just enjoying myself. Kind of taking a day off. Kind of just hanging out, doing whatever I do. During the weekdays, I'm pretty much, you know, I still get some free time to come out here and hang out, but that's like towards, I don't know, towards the end of the day, pretty much. You know, so I'm a busy dude. So when I come out here, I just kind of like, want to just, chill out you know, and that's basically what I'm doing. So I've done a lot of videos on God, and I've done some other videos to, one other person, about other, certain things. But I just want to make a video completely off the normal topic or whatever of my videos and just talk about basketball, and just talk about basketball, or just wherever this video ends up. Cause I'm a bored dude right now, and I'm just hanging out, doing what I do. It's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm just relaxing, enjoying myself. So I'm still trying to figure out why people feel, what possesses people to compare Golden State Warriors of 2016, man, to the Bulls of the 90s. Like, dude, you're not comparing apples and oranges, bro. You're comparing apples and watermelons, man. I mean, I'm going to tell you exactly what would happen if those teams ever played in a 7-game series. I don't care what the stakes were. Pippen would shut down Curry in 2 seconds. Like, Curry would have nowhere to go. Because, see, the thing about Curry is he's an excellent shooter, but that's all he is. Like, if you can shut down Curry, then he can't shoot. He's not really a good defender. Like, that's all he does. He's not a dunker. Like, see, Jordan, like, I'm going to tell you exactly what would happen. Pippen would just shut down Curry, man. Okay? Curry would not be out there just swap, swap, swap. No, he wouldn't. I mean, there was one person in the NBA that could really guard Jordan on a consistent basis. You want to know who that person was? Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen was on the Bulls with Jordan, so that, pretty much allowed Jordan to just run all over everyone else. Scottie Pippen, I'm not saying Scottie Pippen can lock down Jordan, but Scottie Pippen would not lock down Jordan, but he would shut down Jordan. And what I mean by that is if Scottie Pippen was on another team, if Pippen was in his prime and Jordan, Pippen was on Jordan, Jordan wouldn't be Jordan for the time that Pippen was on him. Pippen is a good defender. Pippen can guard Jordan. He's the only person in the league, at that time, who could ever really, on a consistent basis, really ever guard Jordan. And there'll never be another Michael Jordan. People need to stop comparing LeBron James and Curry to Jordan. Jordan would sit there and dunk over dudes from the foul line. He would just sit there and, I mean, do you really think that that's just a slogan or a symbol that they put on shirts and sneakers? Did you ever see that dude dunk from the foul line? I did. I've seen that dude just cannonball with grace, man, just effortless. Just, is Curry gonna do that? No, Curry will, he'll shoot him for like, 25 feet out consistently almost. But see, Jordan can pretty much do the same thing. Maybe not as good as Curry, but see, Jordan was just all around, man. I mean, Jordan could play defense too. Jordan could soar over people from the foul line. Jordan could just all over the place, man. Jordan is just that dude. I'm not even a Michael Jordan fan. See, my two favorite players of all time are Reggie Miller and Patrick Ewing, because I live in the state of New York, and I grew up being a Knicks fan. I was a Knicks fan ever since I was a young kid. I don't really watch basketball anymore because I'm not, I don't really get into it that much. The game has changed, and it's just like, I don't know, it bores me. I'm not really used to it the way it is now. But people want to compare the 2016 Warriors to the 90s Bulls. The 90s Bulls had Rodman, first of all. They had John Paxson, which was like a white Derek Fisher. They had Scottie Pippen, like I said, the only dude in the league at that point in time who could really guard Jordan on a consistent basis. And then obviously they had Michael Jordan. They had Horace Grant. I mean, that team was deep coming off the bench. Wow, man, come on. And they had Phil Jackson. Good luck, Golden State. I mean, the only people to really compare Golden State today to yesterday's Bulls are the people that don't know better. I mean, obviously it's two different eras, and if those teams were to really, obviously play, it's just, like I said, it's just a different style of game nowadays. So you really kind of have a hard time comparing the two. But just for argument's sake, if you wanted to compare the two, you really can't, because I'm telling you, Pippen would shut Curry. Hang on. Pippen would shut Curry down, and then what? Jordan would just take over, pretty much. I mean, Jordan, Rodman, Horace Grant. Like I said, John Paxson from three-point range. I mean, that team was stacked. It was stacked. You can't compare those teams. You could try to, but you just can't. It's kind of like comparing. It's kind of like how everybody wants to compare. It's kind of like comparing McDavid to Gretzky. I mean, I'm sure McDavid will be a great player. He will be, and he's already pretty much on his way there. He's better than Jack Eichel. I'm telling you that right now. Jack Eichel, I mean, I'm sure he's going to be a solid player in the NHL. But Buffalo just needs to kind of suck it up and just say, hey, Edmonton, once again, I mean, this time they really hit the jackpot with McDavid. McDavid's going to definitely be the best player in the league for years to come. And Buffalo didn't get him. What are you going to do? But you know what? They definitely got Jack Eichel. Jack Eichel's, a solid player. But he's not McDavid. And you know what? McDavid's not Gretzky. And people were. I'm not even a big hockey fan. I'm just trying to make a point that people were comparing Crosby to Gretzky. That didn't turn out. And now people are trying to compare McDavid to Gretzky, like saying it's he's kind of like a Gretzky. That's just a player comparison. You don't really know how somebody's going to turn out until they turn out. Kind of like LeBron James. They were when he came out of high school into the NBA. I saw him on Sports Illustrated, and they were saying that this dude was going to be the next Jordan. Now LeBron James turned out to be one of the best players in the league. I would definitely say a Hall of Famer. But Jordan, no. Jordan will sit there and just dribble and it just shake somebody down, man. He will make somebody just dance, doodle, and drop right where they stand. Just boom, boom, boom. Like, go look up on YouTube if you're interested. Go look up the John Van Gundy game. Search John Van Gundy Michael Jordan game, or just, I don't know, maybe modify it or something in some kind of short way. It's out there. John Van Gundy, whatever his name is, I think his name is John Van Gundy, whatever, I don't know. But he was the coach of the Knicks back in the day when this happened. I think it was like 97 or something. And he said something about Jordan before the game. And Jordan heard about it. And Jordan walked up to, Jordan was just on fire, man. And he literally, like, Van Gundy, it's on YouTube. Like, Van Gundy was just like, dude, like, his tail was between his legs, and Jordan went over to the sidelines and was just, he was like, are you serious? Do you want me to do more to your team? Like, Jordan was just cutting them up, man. Like Edward Scissorhands, bro. Cutting them up. LeBron James ain't going to do that. Steph Curry's not going to do that either. I mean, LeBron James is a solid all-around player, and Curry's a shooter. If you want to compare Curry to somebody, you're better off comparing him to Reggie Miller. But Michael Jordan, bro, are you serious? Come on now. It's kind of like comparing, kind of like there will only be one. I mean, look, I'm a Tom Brady fan, but trust me, there's only going to be one Tom Brady, man. I mean, people like to compare Joe Montana to Tom Brady, and I've mentioned this in my other videos. Well, Joe Montana had a Hall of Fame coach. Tom Brady had a Hall of Fame coach. Okay, well, Joe Montana had Jerry Rice, and people say that Jerry Rice is the best wide receiver ever. There's a difference between a generational talent and a once-in-a-lifetime talent, and Jerry Rice was that dude. So you have the best wide receiver of all time and arguably the best quarterback of all time. That's chemistry. He didn't just have him for 1 or 2 years. No, the dude had him for his whole prime. Not to mention that team was pretty much stout defensively, and they had other really way above average weapons off. I mean, that whole team was stacked, dude. And we're not talking free agency either. I mean, you would draft a player and they would just pretty much stay with the team until they were really, really washed up, and they were just either retired or, I don't know, they had like 1 or 2 like fall off years, and they just really wanted to make some, I don't know, just some cash on the side, so they ended up staying in the league. But teams back then didn't really cut players loose until the players were just like, dude, okay, we have to replace you. And the players just basically went to another team because of their name. Kind of like when Bruce Smith went to Washington. Bruce Smith really didn't do anything for Washington, but Washington picked him up because he was Bruce Smith. Once upon a time, Bruce Smith was, Bruce Smith. But by the time Washington got out, and same thing with Thurman Thomas. Thurman didn't really do anything with Miami, but Miami picked him up because he was Thurman Thomas. Not because Thurman Thomas was Thurman Thomas when he played for Miami, but because once upon a time, Thurman Thomas had a name for himself, and it was Thurman Thomas. So Miami signed a name. They didn't really sign talent at that point. They signed a washed-up Thurman Thomas. And Thurman actually, from what I remember, retired at the end of that year and came back and signed so he can retire with Buffalo. He signed a 1 year or a 1 day contract and then retired as a Buffalo Bill. Maybe Bruce Smith did the same thing. I don't know. But whatever. That's what I'm saying. Like back then, you would draft a player and they would just stay with you. They would stay with you. There was no such thing. Like the thing is with players nowadays is everybody's money hungry. Kind of like Saw with Detroit. I mean, Sugg was just like one of the best players in the league, and I'm not saying he's still like talent-wise, he definitely is, but all of a sudden you offer these players like, what is he making, like $100-some million? These players tend to get lazy. They tend to get overpaid, and why even play at that point? It's money in the bank. I mean, how much of that money is guaranteed? I mean, are you serious? Why even play at that point? Why? I mean, I'm not saying why as far as in like, I'm saying a lot of players think that. I would play, absolutely. If I'm being paid to do something, I'm going to do it. But you pay a lot of these players and they just don't want to perform because, well, it's pretty much money. I mean, I'm not saying the whole contract is guaranteed, obviously. I mean, but they make a lot of money guaranteed and they get lazy. And stuff really didn't, I'm not saying it didn't happen like that back then, but teams were more devoted to, because it was, a football team was more of a family. Like I said, you drafted a player and they stayed together. Kind of like the Buffalo Bills back in the day. I mean, these guys still hang out together. They still hang out together. It was more than just a team. They were a family. They're a family. They're a family. You don't find that nowadays. Football is a business. Football is all about selling jerseys. It's all about, this and that. And it's all about the Odell Beckham catch, and all of a sudden Odell Beckham Jr. is running around with one of the Kardashians. Are you serious? It's just a joke nowadays. That's why I don't even watch sports, man. It's just junk. I like to watch sports. I like to watch, people that really care about the sports. Nowadays, people care more about fame and notoriety and money and this and that. They don't care about the sports. They're not even, a lot of them really aren't dedicated. That's one of the reasons I like Tom Brady. A lot of people like to cry about Tom Brady being a crybaby. Well, I'll tell you something. Tom Brady is the same as Tiger Woods. If you're going to call him a crybaby, call Tiger Woods a crybaby, because Tiger Woods, he would miss a shot and he would toss his golf club. That because, hey, look, I'm saying it is a sign of poor sportsmanship. There are better ways to handle it.